Hello and welcome to episode 8 of Drams Delivered. I hope you all enjoyed last month's Daft Mill. We certainly did. But we, again, have got a very exciting whisky this month. I think it's been a good couple of months in terms of the drams.
Certainly has, yeah.
So this is a dram that's close to both of our hearts, but probably more so you than me. And yeah, do you want to tell the guys what we're having?
Yeah, so again, we're very, very lucky to be able to bring you this bottle from quite a new distillery on the scene, Ardnamurchan, which is where I actually grew up, where I'm from. So Ardnamurchan has been going since July 2014, and recently, last year, they actually launched their first single malt. And this is batch 3 that we're on to now. Without any...
4? 3?
3.
3? Oh, good. You're keeping me right in this one.
Yeah,
is it 4 or 3?
I'm pretty sure it's 3. Cool. Without any further ado, shall we have a little look at the bottle?
Go for it. Yeah. Well, the box is quite cool. So the box,
lovely map on the box, but there is one small problem with it. So
What's the problem, John?
The village that I grew up in, which is just on the sort of edge of Ardnamurchan, if you look very closely, they've written half of the name and then it just ends and it's the front of the label. So I have to take some points off them for that. Missing out on a Harrico there. It's,
fair.
Yeah.
The boxes are smelling better. I know that sounds like a weird thing to say, but they are. We'll maybe touch on the environmental side of Ardnamurchan, but they're very focused on that.
So one of the really big things with Ardnamurchan is that it's one of the most environmentally friendly distilleries in Scotland at the moment, probably the most environmentally friendly. So all of this packaging is made using recycled materials. And
What
the
were
distillery,
the materials, John?
I think they might have been, you know, the little cardboard bits on the inside of loo rolls.
Toilet roll.
Was it specifically that though?
It smelled like it in the first release.
Well, I can honestly
they smell
say
better now. They
that's
smell
a
better
fantastic smelling box of whiskey, and the whiskey smells even better, which is good.
Nice.
The distillery itself uses a biomass boiler. Huey comes twice a day with lots of wood chip to keep the boiler going. And they also have a little hydroelectric pump at the back of the distillery. So all of the energy used to make this whiskey is green energy, which is nice. Fantastic.
I think for people who are not from Ardnamurchan, to let you know where it is the most westerly point on the mainland. So proper out west.
About as far west as you can go.
Yeah. And I've been lucky enough to visit, as obviously John has been there. The road is a proper single track country road, and you just get to this point and there's a distillery, and it is stunning and mad that they decided to build one. I think there's a little bridge that seemed quite narrow in a car, but they had to get all the materials over. The size of the stills were dictated by this bridge. Bonkers place to put a distillery, but beautiful part of the world.
Yeah, I think it's well worth the trip. If any of you ever have the opportunity to go out to Ardnamurchan, I couldn't recommend it enough, and I'm not saying that because I'm biased. I do think it is one of the most beautiful corners of Scotland, and still quite hidden away. So
just beware of the midges.
Just bring your Avon Skin So Soft is what you want. That will keep the midges away.
We had a friend, Connell, who works for Adelphi, and he showed us around the distillery one day, and we were in the pub and we went outside, and a few people were having a cigarette, and he came up with a genius idea of flying a drone above his head so he could have a cigarette to keep the midges away. They're bad, but worth a trip, just beware. So, dram time?
I think it's time for a dram.
I'll let you do this one since it's your hometown distillery.
Thank you very much. Oh, now, tricky opening. Oh.
So the makeup, while John's opening that, the makeup of this dram is 65% bourbon, 35% sherry, and go for it. Oh, good one.
A bit of a wet one. Okay.
Thank you. So I think this whiskey is 65%, 35%, and then we've got 17,500 bottles of this release, and it's made using 50% malted barley, unpeated, and then 50% peated. So nice mix up. So in terms of flavour profile, where do you think this sits, John?
I mean, like you said, you've got sherry casks in there, you've got bourbon casks, you've got peated and you've got unpeated. To me, that is what West Coast whiskey is really about when you talk about sort of, to name names, your Talisters, Springbanks. There's a bit of peat in there, there's a bit of smoke, there's a bit of weight, but it's not a slap in the face like some of your Irish drams can be. It's got a lovely sort of wee hint of smoke.
A gentle smoke, isn't it?
A wee hint of sort of earthiness.
I wouldn't describe it as peaty, I definitely wouldn't, but it's, as you say, earthiness, gentle.
And just good drinking whiskey. And I think that's what Ardnamurchan really are going for. Inaugural releases, when it comes to them, you know, it comes time to put your first whiskey out. A lot of distilleries, they could charge whatever they like, really. And it's quite often about the £100 mark. And what happens is these bottles get bought up by collectors and then they get flipped. The next month there's about 100 of them at auction and they go for £300, £400, £500.
Yeah.
Ardnamurchan decided that that's absolutely not what they want to do. They want their whiskey to be drunk. And so this was, 15,000 bottles. No, I think this is actually 17 and a half.
Yeah.
But the inaugural release was about 15,000 bottles and it was priced at £45.
Yeah.
And it's designed for drinking.
Yeah.
Ardnamurchan want you to drink their whiskey, not to collect it and then invest in it.
I think the volume was key. I mean, the first couple of releases still did see at auction, but now you're actually seeing them kind of coming back down to retail, which is great because it discourages people to flip them. It's great whiskey. It's got a lovely profile. It's got that a bit of saltiness. There is a bit of maritime element to it as well. Yeah. But generally just good liquid. Naturally a fan of Ardnamurchan. I've got some West Coast connections. My dad's from not far from the next village along in Strontian. But we kind of knew them as an independent bottler before. So there's a company called Adelphi, which we really like. And they're involved with the guys at Ardnamurchan as well. So they had good history in the whiskey world, and I think they're proving it with this stuff. It's great.
Absolutely.
Quite experimental too. So this is their kind of core release, but they are playing around with super heavily peated stuff. We've kind of been told that they've got, you know, Madeira, Marsala, port casks, maybe
rum casks.
Rum
They've
casks.
just recently released a Paul Lanois. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation there, but a champagne cask, which is, you know, quite unusual.
Yeah.
It cannot wait really to see what Ardnamurchan have in store for us over the next few years.
Or for me and you. Me and you have committed to Ardnamurchan.
We're both lucky enough to actually have a cask down there. So if it turns out anything like these releases, then
we'll be happy.
We'll be very happy.
What did you go for in your cask?
I went for unpeated Oloroso.
A mistake, John.
Mistake. What did you go for, Matthew?
I went for peated Oloroso.
Okay. Well, we could blend them together. Okay. I don't want to drink your whiskey anyway.
Mine's going to be better than yours. But yeah, I think on that note, I think we'll have a wee cheers. Enjoy the dram. Hopefully you're enjoying John's hometown distillery.
Enjoy it. Go out and buy it. Support it. Yeah.
Should leave me hanging here.
Cheers.
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 Cheers.